Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is now showing in cinemas, so here's my review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. When I first heard that there was going to be a new Planet of the Apes movie several years after the last one, I was excited but also very skeptical. The Planet of the Apes trilogy is one of the best movie trilogies out there, with a concept that honestly could have easily been a recipe for mediocre sci-fi schlock had it not been handled well. The Planet of the Apes trilogy was able to elevate the genre and give us a really intimate tale that acts as a reflection of society and the human experience. I know that might be a real pretentious way to hype up those films, but believe me, they were that good. So the question I was looking to get answered in this movie was, could it live up to the legacy the other movies left behind? Could this movie justify its own existence? And well, I'm happy to report that it does, and there's clearly more stories in this franchise left to tell. The opening scene of this movie alone does a really good job of bringing you back into this world as if you never left. In this movie, it's been hundreds of years since the reign of Caesar. The world has changed, and we get to see this new world through our main character, Noah, who goes on an epic journey to discover the truth about their world and its past. What I really liked about this movie is the new set of characters we meet. This movie takes a bit of a risk by giving us new characters and not having any of the characters from the original trilogy show up. So I was really pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed spending time with these characters. Each of the characters had so many layers and depth, but I think my favorite one out of the new characters we meet is the villain of the movie, Proximus Caesar. Without giving too much away, think of Proximus Caesar as a really devoted follower of Caesar. But the only thing he got out of his teachings was apes together strong. Clearly, he missed a few lessons, particularly the ones about being compassionate towards humans. Another thing I liked about this movie was the effects. It's been a while since the last movie, and the effects have only gotten better since then, and the apes have never looked better. Part of me wishes that other big franchises such as the MCU would take notes from the Planet of the Apes movies, because these movies aren't afraid to take their time to polish everything from the story down to the effects, and the results speak for themselves. Now that I've mentioned the positives, no movie is perfect, so I think it's only fair that I point out things that I think they could have improved upon. First, the pacing. This movie is juggling a bunch of stories, and somewhere in the middle, it started to feel like I was watching two different movies because the transition from one plot to the next could have used a little more polishing. I also feel like the pacing led to a premature character death. I'm not gonna tell you who kicks the bucket in this movie, but let's just say that this character could have used a better death scene. I know I praised Proximus Caesar earlier, but I felt as though there wasn't a lot of him in this movie. He's in a lot of the marketing, so I was really expecting him to be a force to be reckoned with all throughout, but like I said, there's not a lot of him here. If I could compare it to another movie, I'd say their treatment of Proximus kinda reminds me of Two-Face from The Dark Knight. Kevin Durrand was the MVP actor in this movie because he was so good as Proximus Caesar, and I wish we had more of him. Overall, I had a really good time with this movie. It's an epic tale of biblical proportions, and despite a few pacing issues, this movie reignited my love for the Planet of the Apes franchise, and I can't wait to see more from them.